Welcome to episode 573 of Salsidoparanormal. I'm your host, James Salsido, and tonight we will be talking about more haunted places in the U.S. As always, you can find all episodes of the show along with links to social media and other ways to contact me at the podcast page, and that is salsidoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions or stories or accounts, of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. Happy to either read those or have you join me on the show to talk about them. Thank you all for listening, whether you are here for the live streams on Discord, or if you listen to the podcast or YouTube feeds, or on the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP, Digital Broadcasting. There you can hear replays of 2 episodes of the show every night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, right before Troubled Minds Radio comes on. And as always, I'd like to thank Michael Strange, host of Troubled Minds Radio, for having me on the network and putting all my shows up there. So if you'd like to support the show, there are a couple of different ways to do that. You can always find my books on Amazon, paranormal fiction and nonfiction. And you can send a one-time donation through PayPal. Help is never expected, but always appreciated, as there are expenses in making these shows, from research materials to equipment to travel expenses in some cases. So we're getting back to this Haunted Places in the U.S. series, and getting back to Alaska. So let me get back to the document here. Thank you all for being here. I did mention it in one episode earlier tonight already, but just wanted to mention it again. There will be news at some point later on this year about a book that will be the first, hopefully, in a series of books that will be connected to this podcast, using material that I've shared in the different true paranormal stories on the web shows and other things, other sort of deeper dives into topics as we go. So looking forward to that, putting out basically a series of books that will be connected to and based on, in part, the podcast. So more updates on that as I have more to share. Right now, I'm just the writing and self-editing, the editing on my part of the first book is done. Just need to look into just figuring out how and where I want to publish it and go from there. So I have, of course, a couple other nonfiction books already, but that was pre-podcast. So it's going to be neat to have something that's directly tied to this project. So I have a couple of things that are connected. So anyway, getting to the material here. This first location I'm going to talk about here is, let me see here. It is the Red Onion Saloon, located in Skagway, Alaska. Now this is, I think I mentioned this in the last one of these shows. There are a lot of places that used to be basically brothels that have paranormal activity because of, from what I can tell, the type of locations that they were today. And so this current restaurant is rumored to be haunted by the ghosts of former workers there. So let me see here. This first article is from hauntedhouses.com, and the title is, "This Alaska Saloon is said to be one of the most haunted places in America." Of course, every place that is said to be haunted is said to be one of the most haunted places in America. But anyway, it's located, again, we already said that, but this is, the saloon opened its doors in, let's see here, 1898, according to another website called Haunted Journeys. And the former brothel was built by a Captain William Moore. Let me see here. Basically, It was designed to provide company, so to speak, for miners during, and that's MINERS, during the Klondike Gold Rush. And the saloon was a fine building for its time, according to the article here. It says it had 2 stories. The first floor was the bar, and the second floor was the brothel, basically. So let's see here. According to what another website called Haunted Places, clients knew which people were where using this is not freaky at all, a doll system. There was a doll resembling the person that was placed on a ledge at the bar. I don't like that. If the doll was, let's go into more details than I want to get to. So let's see here. Moving on here. Since then, the Red Onion Saloon has been a number of other places and other businesses. I can't say that word, including a dance hall, army barracks, a pharmacy, a gift shop, and others. In 1978, the property was purchased and by someone with the first name of Jan. So she renovated the Red Onion Saloon and converted it back to a restaurant and bar. And of course, this is as of this article. Again, I forgot to give my usual sort of disclaimers. Any of these places I talk about in these shows, please look into their status as of today, because it may not be open or available or in use or for any kind of paranormal investigation or whatever. Anyway, the state of the location may not be at what it was at the time that these articles are written. So anyway, it's a restaurant and museum, and many believe some of the original ladies of the night have decided to stay. Says, let me see here. Going to the paranormal activity there, talks about the most famous ghost possibly being that of Lydia, who worked there, and details of her life are scarce, but it's believed she passed there in a room due to illness, and apparently people now, visitors and employees, often smell a strong scent of perfume and even hear footsteps coming from the second floor, both of which are attributed to Lydia. So that happens a lot. I always wonder too, are people getting some kind of sense telepathically that that's who they're seeing or I mean hearing, and that's whose perfume that they're smelling? Or how often is it a sense that people are getting, and then how often is it more just, we know about this person that died here, so it must be this person? And I understand the way why that would happen, and as far as reasoning and all that, but I don't think you can always be completely sure of that, again, unless you're getting some kind of a sense directly from the spirit or entity. Lydia is described as being hostile toward male visitors, which is understandable in a way, but caring towards women, as apparently she will touch, and this is just the touch women's hair, apparently. Some employees have even think she waters the plants. So I'm guessing they find water in those plants that they didn't put there. So the Lydia's full apparition has been seen near the staircase, wearing a long dark dress. In one case, police were called after staff heard a, in quotation marks, great disturbance upstairs. And although they saw a figure run into a room, no one was found. So So yeah, that's basically it for that apparition. Apparently, there was also another spirit that is said to be there is Diamond Lil Davenport, a former madam, and according to this article here, she's known for softly whispering into the ears of uh, men that were there. Last, there's a negative male spirit believed to be a bouncer who worked there, who has been known to cause trouble. So again, a lot of these places you have people that are as they were, possibly still, even after they passed from life. So he apparently moves objects and has reportedly gotten physical with staff. So that's not good. So let me see here. The article talks about the location a little more, asking if people want to check out the place themselves and give some more information on that. Again, that may not be accurate as of now, so please check out, do searches on these locations and before you go to them, because things change over time, so just a good thing to do to make sure you're not trespassing on anyone's property. So let's see here. The second article is from, actually it's from grunge.com. I like to use these sites that are not entirely paranormal based websites whenever I can find articles about places. So, and this is one of those cases. This is talking about the let me see here, the Red Onion Saloon and Brothel Museum. So, talks about how aromas and startling sounds are heard and smelled there, basically. This historic structure does confirm the 1898 date of when it was constructed. It's a 2-story building that's white with dark trim and a storefront window. The first floor, it says, was and is now a saloon, and so it goes over what those things are. Now, the second floor apparently now is the museum. So this whole building was originally located at 6th and State Street. I wonder if that means it was moved. That's always, you hear about that in some places, some cases where buildings are moved and there's still activity in them that resembles what it was before it was moved. And in other cases, you have buildings that are moved and there's new activity. So anyway, mentions here, talks about the location in Skagway. The year-round population is around 1,000 residents, and but that nearly doubles in size to support the 900,000 visitors that go to the area to visit and check it out through cruise ships at the height of the tourist season. I'm guessing that means the warmest season. One place that is very popular with these tourists is this Red Onion Saloon. And let's see here. So going on with the article here, talks about how the saloon makes a good profit on this tourist season, which makes sense. The museum's docents that are dressed in 1898 saloon costumes, and they take visitors through the museum talking about what happened there before. And so let's see here. It's doing more about the tour. So the rooms are also a step back in time, it says, of course, looking like basically they did in the past overall. And okay, scrolling here. So besides being able to just walk around and take a private tour, the museum does have as part of a larger tour for tourists taking in all the other similar locations in the town. And let's see here. It says that, so it's really going over more of just the tour information, so you can definitely check that out. Okay, here we go. We're getting to the history now. So in the late 1800s, there was a Klondike gold rush that brought in many people to mine the area. And so because of this, a lot of people would establish businesses to support them, to give them housing and housing and feed them and all that, and provide entertainment. And so that's what this Red Onion Saloon was established for, in a way. And so, and this was apparently at the time, this was the most fancy, or most the grandest of these was the Red Onion Saloon. And so it was built in 1897 and it opened in 1898. And so let's see here. Scrolling through again, it was they were mainly to help with the people that were involved in the mining industry, and it also had a bouncer that protected the people there, and also there was another system that safeguarded people there from being robbed. So let me see here. A lot of the workers there had 12-hour shifts. As not workers, each, let me see here. Was it the miners or the people that worked there? I missed it. Okay. No, I guess it was the people that worked there. So, but goes into more details on that. Talks about the Klondike Gold Rush being played out by 1900, and the people that were part of that moved on to the next area, and so this led to the Red Onion Saloon becoming more of a popular dance hall in the 1900s. So, and let me see here. After the let me see, it goes into more of that aspect of the site. But so yeah, it talks about some of the things that this building was after all that. Mentions that it was also a TV station and a bakery, and so it sounds like it's been a lot of different things over time. But then eventually, again, 1970s, near 1980, it became what it was before, which is the Red Onion Saloon. And let's see here. At first, the upstairs area was used more for staff changing rooms, and the old madam's room became the bedroom for visiting artists who performed on the first floor saloon. But when then there started to be cruise ships that came through the area, and that's when again the place really again got popular, I guess, with tours and all that. So going to the rest of this article here, manifestations. That's the part we want to get to. Says most of the activity is on the second floor. Again, that makes sense because of what that was, and being a brothel and everything. Caused by at least one female presence, though perhaps more. Again, we talked about that in the first article. Says that spirits of some of the other people that visited the location are said to visit there still today, as well, as far as apparitions go. And it mentions the bouncer that may still be keeping an eye on the location. So let's see here. There's the spirit of Lydia. Again, it mentions that apparition, and then it goes into so while she is friendly, it says, with women on tours by caressing their hair, men on the tour are fair game for tricks to be played on them. So it says possible spirit of the bouncer. That's the next one. Two men who were doing maintenance apparently on the location one day on the second floor were pushed down the flight of stairs by a strong presence. That's always scary. But again, I wonder sometimes you hear about how spirits and entities don't always know, they don't experience time in the same way. So you wonder about that when there's these kinds of more direct confrontational events. Yes, it could just be that the bouncer was a jerk, but it could also be, and I've heard this in other locations as well, people that worked or stayed in the place don't like just people, what they perceive as other people just randomly coming in there and doing whatever they want when it's the place doesn't belong to the people that it actually belongs to now. But anyway, it says that one of the local town leaders has had experiences in the second floor, sensing a strong presence, a sort of hostile mood, and so apparently this bouncer does not like. This is ironic in a way. Does not like male politicians or leaders. So it talks about the perfume smell that is associated with Lydia, and going on here to the rest. So there's also sounds of footsteps heard up in the second floor, even though at the time there was no one there. And that, of course, they don't know who it was, but apparently there was one employee that called the police at one point because they heard running footsteps, and pounding on the second floor. Excuse me. It says this could be the bouncer reliving an altercation he had with someone in the past. So again, you have the possibility of time overlaps here too, I think. Time anomalies. When the employee and other officers went up to the second floor, they saw a figure, a shadow, basically go down the hall and slip into the madam's room. But then when they got there, they didn't find anyone. So apparently some unseen presence also will helps with chores. They think it might be Lydia. And this is where they mentioned that the plants sometimes are found to have already been watered on the second floor when there's no one there at the time. So there's also a shadowy figure of a woman who was seen watering plants in the madam's room as well. So says that there may still be spirits of people from that used to work there that are still there trying to work. There was a sighting of a face of a man that was seen in the mirror hanging from the mirror that was in the madam's bedroom. Also, cold spots in areas that have been experienced by employees. And let me see here. One spirit says probably Lydia. Let me see here. Listening to this, or not listening to this, reading this. Apparently, there was a musician that lived on the second floor, and for a little while, and while they were downstairs performing, they were there performing at times, and then one night while they were there in their room, they woke up to see shimmering light in his room. So you have light appearing here. He then had a very strange and sensation, basically. Just felt an unseen presence in the location. So, paranormal findings. That's the end of this article. And you know what? That's all the time we have for today. You can check out the rest of that article. I will always share the descriptions in the chat. In the episode description. So thank you all for listening. That came out fast. And I will talk to you all in the next episode of Salsidoparanormal. Take care.